Peter, thank you so much
thank you,
for agreeing
Andrew.
to have this conversation. Especially when you've had such a breakneck tour of Asia. So a few things. Maybe, given that we are launching our partnership with CompTIA, can you tell us a bit about CompTIA?
Yes, of course. So as CompTIA, we have a very simple mandate. It's really to help to feed the industry with sufficient IT people so that the industry can grow. It's a very simple mandate. The execution, of course, is not so simple, but our mandate is still there, and that's the basis of where we started and where we are today. Now, in this process, CompTIA has changed a little bit, so we're going from an association to a corporation, but our principles stay the same. We are so connected with the industry, and so we are not inventing new things. We are really working with the industry to define which job roles become relevant, and then we build our solutions around that. So we're not creating new job roles. We're looking at the industry with millions of contact points, with working with governments, understanding, and then we define the job roles with the industry. So that's really the strengths, and also where the strengths of our certifications are, because these are global certifications. The whole industry across many different countries, we're active in 230 countries. They all align with these job certifications, and that is really the strength of CompTIA.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. You were alluding a bit to the strengths that CompTIA has. When you speak to your clients and you speak to your partners, what do they appreciate most about CompTIA from your experience?
Yeah, I think it's, first of all, it's really the vendor neutrality. I think that is also key to, we're not aligned to any vendor. We obviously work with all the big vendors, including Google, Microsoft, AWS, or all the big consultants. But our courses are vendor neutral. It's really providing the basic skills and the domain knowledge for each and every job. And that's why it's such a natural fit. And actually I see more and more a need within industries and government for that vendor neutrality. And I think that is one of the key things that our customers appreciate.
You meet a lot of customers and talk to them about their needs. How do you see that changing? What sort of trends are you seeing in terms of what customers are saying their needs are?
Well, first of all, our customers are different segments. So obviously we have government customers, we have enterprises, but we also work very closely with academic. And I think, if I look at academic, for example, it really depends on the different countries. So there's not one answer. But if I look at the overlap between these three segments, it's really the collaboration between these segments to achieve what? To achieve more influx of IT to fulfill all the skills gaps and the gaps in resources. And I think that is something that will continue for the next 10 years. So that will continue to remain the same. And the way we do that is changing. So in the past, people would come, we would look at IT engineers and try to get them prepared for the workforce. Now we're looking to people that don't have university backgrounds or are in a completely different job environment. And how do we attract them to come into IT and become part of that IT workforce? I think this is where CompTIA going forward is putting a lot of effort.
How do you see the IT workforce changing, especially in light of technology has been shifting, businesses are shifting?
To be honest, for me, the IT workforce is always changing. I don't see it different from 30 or 40 years ago, to be honest. When IT and PC networking started late 80s, early 90s, there was no IT. There were no skilled people. So all these people came from non-IT, accountants or people from lawyers. They all jumped into this IT bandwagon. The same thing happens today again. So for me, it's always changing. And so yes, there's always something new. The whole digital transformation has been out there for 10 years. Now we see a lot of things with AI, but it's also a moving target. For us, to focus on a job function in AI, it's still a moving target. It's hard to pinpoint and say, this is it. So we have to do different things in our portfolio to address things like AI. So we will see more AI coming into security, into pen testing, into networking, into system operations. We may have AI certifications into AI architecture. So a lot of new things will happen.
And what you just shared really resonates with me. I'm a lawyer who kind of got into data, I completely understand where you're coming from. Do you have any advice for organizations, right, that are sort of investing in building their workforces? And we work a lot with enterprise clients, and one thing we hear a lot of is, there's a shortage of talent, right? There's not enough supply out there that needs to meet our demands. How do you see, what advice would you have for client organizations going through that?
Yeah, and again, it really depends on the countries. Or some countries, actually, organizations don't put much effort in educating their own staff. It's all the responsibility of the individual to be on par with the skills that are required. There are many countries, even in APAC, it's really the responsibility of the individual. Some countries, the organizations take that responsibility. They will have a whole learning path for the first 5-6 years of an organization, and we will work with both. We will reach out to the individuals and get them on par for the certifications and for the job tasks, and we work with organizations in that internal learning path. Or we work with governments like here in Malaysia or in Singapore, and to help to make that transition in the workforce. But I think again the key for CompTIA is that we have already defined the skill sets and the domain knowledge, so it's easy for them to plug and play that into their organizations. So this is where we can help and support.
Excellent. Just 2 final questions, Peter. We're very excited as Excelerate to be partnering together with CompTIA. And I was wondering, is there anything in particular that you're excited about CompTIA partnering with Excelerate?
Of course. Of course. No, first of all, I think just learning about the background of the company and the projects that you're in, I think the stars are very well aligned, and that really excites me. The engagements in corporate, the background that you have in the digital transformation. I think there's so much dynamics and so much still to do with so many organizations that I really think the stars are aligned and we just need to accelerate.
I think that's a wonderful note to end on. Thank you very much, Peter. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.